the correlation between code enforcement and property values. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Mayor Paul Medany of Deptford Township. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's first talk about code enforcement overall. You actually have full-time employees that work on this, but what is included in your codes when it comes to commercial and residential properties?
Well, specifically, there's a code that's adopted by the township. It's the International Property Maintenance Code. There's other ones out there, but that's the one we decided because we felt that best fit Deptford Township. So it's actually a code book, and we have 2 code enforcement officers that read the book and go out and enforce it.
And with us, we're talking residential and commercial properties. People do complain about high grass, for example, but there are other things that can be code violations.
There are, and commercial code enforcement is a very big part of what we do because we need to ensure that business owners maintain their properties. Everybody's always focusing on residential properties because it's in your neighborhood. But out in our big business district, which we have a lot of businesses in Deptford, over 700, we have to make sure that they maintain their properties also.
With that, when we talk about residential or commercial and one of these businesses or homes is in a neighborhood that's not being maintained, we're talking about quality of life issues, but we're talking about a correlation between code violations and property values as well.
Yeah, sure. If you're in a neighborhood and on your street and everybody on your street is taking care of their home and then there's the one home that isn't, there's actually a health and safety aspect to this too. I mean, there's trash, there's rodents, there's other things that can happen. So it's very important that everyone maintains their properties, and that's why these codes are put in place.
And as you mentioned, you have 2 full-time code enforcement employees who work on these issues. And when they go out, the first thing that happens is a warning.
Yes, yeah, and regretfully, our code enforcement officers are usually acting reactively as opposed to proactively. So someone makes a call, they go out and they try to find the owner first, because sometimes you can't find the owner. The house may be vacant or the commercial business. You have to find the owner, you have to send them a notice. We typically give them around 10 days and say, listen, you got to fix this violation. If it's not fixed, here comes a fine.
And with that, some of these fines are steep when it comes to things like high grass.
Yeah, and we made them steep on purpose. We're not in it to make money. We want the property maintained, but like a high grass fine or notice is $500. And what that does is when you get that, you go, oh, wow, I better do something about this. And hopefully, whoever owns it, the owner hires a landscaper and maintains the property.
Can you actually put liens on properties that don't pay these fines?
Yes, we do. We lien the properties. Again, that's not a great process for us, but we do it to recoup our costs. And then at the end, when somebody either purchases the property, then hopefully we recoup our money.
And the idea, though, is to work to improve quality of life and have neighborhoods maintained as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's quality of life, and like we just mentioned previously, it's public safety, health, and welfare. That's all included in code enforcement.
Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
We've been talking with Mayor Paul Medany of Deptford Township. I'm Jill Horner.